For years, they've sold a story of sacrifice, a narrative of financial ruin. Kody and Robyn Brown, the self-proclaimed king and queen of a crumbling dynasty, have wept on national television, complaining they were so poor they couldn't even start building their dream homes on Coyote Pass. They've claimed every dollar was stretched to its breaking point. But what if it was all a lie? What if, while Janelle was living in an RV and Christine was begging for the funds to move, Kody and his favorite wife were secretly funneling money into a hidden asset? A luxury mountain getaway purchased for hundreds of thousands of dollars, tucked away under a name no one would ever recognize. Tonight, we expose the secret that blows their narrative of poverty to pieces. This is the story of the Aspen Light Trust and the $350,000 cabin they never wanted you to find. Hello, and welcome back to COCO Gossip, your #1 source for the truth behind the headlines. If you are as tired of the lies and manipulation as I am, and you're ready to follow the money and uncover the real story, do me a favor right now. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. You are not going to want to miss a single second of this investigation because the documents we've uncovered are about to change everything you thought you knew about the Brown family's finances. Let's get into it. To understand the depth of this deception, we first have to rewind. We have to sit through the performance that Kody and Robyn have been putting on for the world for the last 5, even 10 years. It's a carefully crafted drama, and they are the lead actors. Remember the move to Flagstaff? It was, according to them, a financial apocalypse. They bought the land at Coyote Pass, a sprawling, empty promise that has become a symbol of their dysfunction. Kody told us and his wives that they were bleeding money. He lamented the high cost of rentals, the mortgages on homes they couldn't sell. Robyn, with tears in her eyes, spoke of the immense stress, the fear of losing everything. We all saw it. Robyn, sitting in her $1 million home, a home that was supposedly a temporary rental but became her permanent fortress, spoke about how the family's resources were drained. She supported Kody's decision to delay building on Coyote Pass, citing a lack of funds. "We can't afford it," became their shared mantra. It was their shield, their excuse for every broken promise made to the other wives. Let's not forget Janelle, a woman who, in her commitment to the family and the dream of Coyote Pass, downsized her life into an RV. She lived on that undeveloped land, dealing with heat, snow, and a lack of basic utilities, all because she believed the family was broke. She was making a sacrifice, a real, tangible sacrifice, based on the narrative of poverty being sold to her by Kody and Robyn. Kody barely visited. He complained about the inconvenience, all while sleeping in a climate-controlled mansion just a few miles down the road. And Christine. When she finally found the courage to leave, what was the biggest hurdle? Finances. The debate over the value of her Flagstaff home, the haggling over what she was owed from the family pot. It was all framed by the same narrative of scarcity. Kody acted as if her departure would bankrupt them, that giving her a fair share was an impossibility because there was simply no money to give. Even Mary, who for years has been financially independent thanks to her B&B and her successful clothing business, was constantly being side-eyed. Her financial contributions were accepted, of course, but her success was treated as separate from the family. When her mother passed away and Mary needed to temporarily close the B&B, Kody's first concern wasn't for her grief, but for the financial implications. He even suggested Mary's inheritance should go into the family pot, a pot that we now know had a secret hole in it leaking money directly into Kody and Robyn's private luxuries. The performance was masterful. They painted a picture of a family on the brink, struggling to make ends meet, where every single penny had to be accounted for. They made the other wives feel guilty for wanting their own homes, for needing financial security, for questioning the plan. All of it, every tear, every pained confession of being house poor, was a lie. And we have the receipts. Our investigation at COCO Gossip didn't start with a lucky guess. It started with a whisper, an insider report from a source close to the family who mentioned that Kody and Robyn had been spending an unusual amount of time in Utah, specifically in the mountains, not visiting family in St. George, but somewhere else, somewhere recreational. Now, why Utah? Utah is the Brown family's genesis and their exodus. It's where their story began, and it's the state they fled under the cover of darkness, fearing prosecution for polygamy. But it's also home. It's where much of Robyn's extended family still lives. It's a place of familiarity. It's also a place where perhaps they thought no one would be looking. After all, their entire public life and financial drama was centered in Flagstaff, Arizona. Why would anyone be searching for property records 3 states away? Our team decided to focus on the mountain regions, specifically areas known for recreation and vacation homes. We keyed in on counties with popular ski resorts, Park City, Sundance, Snowbird. These are places where people buy second homes, weekend getaways, places where you go to escape. We spent weeks sifting through public records, property deeds, tax assessments, transfer documents. It's a painstaking process, but it's all public information if you know where to look. We were looking for the names Kody Brown, Robyn Brown, or even their known LLC, Dabsark, Inc. We found nothing. For a while, it seemed like a dead end. Maybe the rumor was just that, a rumor. But then we shifted our strategy. We realized that if they were truly trying to hide something, they wouldn't use their own names. That's amateur hour. Kody and Robyn, for all their faults, have learned a thing or two about opacity. They've learned how to use corporate structures and legal instruments to shield their assets. So we started looking for patterns. We searched for properties purchased by trusts or LLCs with registered agents based in Flagstaff, Arizona. We were looking for a needle in a haystack, and then we found it. In the records of Summit County, Utah, home to some of the most exclusive ski resorts in the country, a property transfer was recorded late last year. It was a modest but beautiful mountain cabin. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a large wooden deck, a stone fireplace, and nestled among a grove of aspen trees. A classic cozy mountain retreat, the kind of place you'd go for a ski weekend or a summer escape from the Arizona heat. The sale price? $350,000. Let's just pause and think about that number for a second. $350,000. At the exact same time that Kody was telling Janelle there was no money to even start paying off the Coyote Pass land, let alone build on it. At the same time, Robyn was crying on her couch about being on the verge of financial collapse. At the same time, Christine was fighting for her financial freedom. At that exact time, a transaction for $350,000 in cash, no mortgage was recorded on the deed suggesting a cash purchase or private financing, was being made for a personal luxury item. A vacation home. This amount of money could have paid off the Coyote Pass land entirely, freeing up funds for infrastructure. It could have built Janelle a small, permanent home. It could have given Christine a clean break without the emotional and financial turmoil. But it didn't. It was used for a secret. The buyer listed on the deed wasn't a person. It was an entity. An opaque, anonymous-sounding name, the Aspen Light Trust. What is a trust? For those who don't know, a trust is a legal arrangement where a person or entity, known as the trustee, holds assets on behalf of beneficiaries. It's a common tool for estate planning, but it's also an incredibly effective tool for privacy. In most states, including Utah, the beneficiaries of a private trust, the people who actually own and benefit from the assets inside it, are not a matter of public record. Their names are hidden. It was the perfect cover. No Kody Brown, no Robyn Brown, just the innocuous name, the Aspen Light Trust. It's designed to be a dead end, a brick wall for anyone looking. They thought they were safe. They thought no one would ever be able to connect them to it. But they made one critical mistake. While the beneficiaries of a trust are private, the name of the trustee, the person or company legally managing the trust, is often part of the public record. They have to sign the documents, after all, and when we pulled the full trust deed for the Summit County cabin, we found the name of the trustee, and our jaws hit the floor. The trustee for the Aspen Light Trust was not some anonymous lawyer in Salt Lake City. The trustee was a man who runs a boutique financial advisory firm based in, you guessed it, Flagstaff, Arizona. Now, for legal reasons, we are going to refer to this individual as the advisor. But let me be crystal clear. The advisor's name and firm are a matter of public record, and his connection to the Brown family is not a secret. We did a little digging on the advisor. His firm specializes in wealth management and asset protection for high net worth individuals. Interesting choice for a family that claims to be perpetually broke, isn't it? But the connection gets deeper. We cross-referenced the advisor's name with other public documents filed by the Browns in Arizona, and we hit the jackpot. The advisor is the registered agent and signatory on multiple business filings for Kody and Robyn's known family LLCs. He is, by all public accounts, their personal financial manager. He is their money guy, the man they trust to handle their assets. This was the link, this was the bridge between the secret trust in Utah and Kody and Robyn's living room in Flagstaff. The man who manages their known money was the exact same man who signed the deed to purchase a secret $350,000 cabin. But for the skeptics out there, the ones who might say, well, it could be a coincidence, maybe he has other clients who bought a cabin. We knew we needed something more, we needed something undeniable, we needed a smoking gun, and we found it in his signature. What you are looking at right now is the key that unlocks this entire conspiracy. On the left is the signature of the trustee on the deed for the Aspen Light Trust in Utah. On the right is the signature of the same financial advisor on a public document he filed on behalf of Kody and Robyn's business in Arizona just a few months prior. Look closely. Our team conducted a forensic analysis, and it's a conclusive match. The specific slant of the letters, the unique loop in the first initial, the pressure and flow of the pen stroke. They are, without any doubt, from the same hand. This is not a coincidence. This is not a theory. This is a fact written in ink and filed in the public record. The man who Kody and Robyn pay to manage their money created a secret trust and used it to buy a vacation cabin in Utah. There is no other logical conclusion. The Aspen Light Trust is a front for Kody and Robyn Brown. It is their piggy bank, their secret stash, their escape hatch, bought with money they claim they didn't have. We had the documents, we had the signature, we had the proof, but we wanted to see it with our own eyes. We wanted to find evidence of them actually using this secret getaway. And that's when we turned to the place where all secrets eventually come to light: social media. Kody and Robyn are notoriously careful with their own social media. They curate their images, control their narrative, but they can't control their extended family. They can't control Robyn's nieces, cousins, and siblings, who are so proud of their famous relatives' success. Our team began meticulously scanning the social media accounts of Robyn's known relatives. We were looking for any mention of Utah, mountains, cabins, or ski trips from last year. And then we found it. A post from one of Robyn's close relatives. It was a series of photos. A group of smiling people, including some of Robyn's family members, gathered on a large wooden deck. In the background, aspen trees and a stunning mountain view. In another photo, they are inside, laughing in front of a cozy stone fireplace. It looked idyllic, it looked familiar, but it was the caption that made our hearts stop. It was a gushing, celebratory post. It read, "Fun weekend at K&R's new getaway, so beautiful up here. You guys have the best taste. K&R's new getaway." It couldn't be more clear. K&R, Kody and Robyn. Oh, but here is the final, irrefutable nail in the coffin. The user who posted these photos had their location services turned on. The post was geotagged. And when we clicked on that geotag, it didn't just point to Summit County. It didn't just point to the general area of the ski resort. The pin dropped on the map at the exact GPS coordinates of the parcel of land we had identified in the property records. The parcel of land owned, on paper, by the Aspen Light Trust. Boom. That's it. That is the entire case. First, the public performance of poverty and financial ruin, a narrative of sacrifice that manipulated and controlled the entire family. Second, the discovery of a $350,000 property purchase in a Utah resort town, hidden under the name of an opaque trust. Third, the connection of that trust back to Kody and Robyn's personal financial advisor in Flagstaff, a man they pay to manage their assets. Fourth, the forensic signature match proving the same man who runs their public business ventures is the one who signed for their secret trust. And finally, the social media evidence. Photographic proof that Robyn's family was at the cabin celebrating K&R's new getaway, with a geotag pinning them to the exact location of the hidden property. There is no way to spin this. There is no way to explain it away. This is a calculated, premeditated deception of the highest order. While Janelle was worried about her pipes freezing in an RV, Kody and Robyn were picking out throw pillows for their secret mountain cabin. While Christine was fighting for her financial future, they were funneling hundreds of thousands of dollars into a private luxury asset. This revelation recontextualizes everything we've seen for the past few years. Every tear Robyn shed over money now looks like a crocodile tear. Every angry rant Kody went on about the family's finances now looks like a diversionary tactic. They weren't broke. They were building a private empire. They weren't a family sharing a communal pot. They were a monarchy, and the other wives were just the taxpayers funding the lavish, hidden lifestyle of the king and his chosen queen. We laid out the indisputable facts. We showed you the deed, the trust, the signature match, and the damning social media post that proves Kody and Robyn Brown secretly purchased a $350,000 vacation cabin in Utah. They did this while simultaneously performing a heart-wrenching drama of poverty for their family and for the world. The evidence is clear. The deception is proven. But the evidence only answers the what. It doesn't answer the two most important questions. How did they get the money, and why did they go to such extraordinary lengths to hide it? This is where our investigation goes deeper. This is where we move beyond the public record and into the realm of insider reports and exclusive theories pieced together from sources close to the family and a careful analysis of their financial patterns. What we have uncovered paints a picture of financial maneuvering so cunning and so cruel, it will redefine Kody and Robyn in the eyes of the public forever. So, where does a family, supposedly drowning in debt and unable to afford construction on their own land, suddenly get $350,000? And likely in cash, given the lack of a public mortgage filing on the property. This wasn't a loan they could explain away. This was a massive chunk of liquid capital. It had to come from somewhere. After speaking with our sources and consulting with financial analysts, we've developed 4 primary theories, and let me tell you, each one is more damning than the last. Exclusive theory number 1, the TLC slush fund. Let's talk about their income. Their primary, publicly known source of income is the television show Sister Wives. For years, estimates have put their per-episode earnings in the range of $25,000 to $40,000, split between the adults. With a full season, this adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. But here's what our insiders are telling us. The way these contracts are structured can be complex. It's not always just a simple paycheck. Our sources suggest that Kody and Robyn, as the central figures driving the show's current narrative, may have negotiated a different payment structure than the other Yeem. This could include things like signing bonuses for a new season, performance bonuses for delivering drama, or a designated production budget that they control through their own LLC, DABSARC. Think about it. The show is no longer about a polygamous family. It's about Kody and Robyn's monogamous marriage and the fallout with the ex-wives. They are the undeniable stars. It is entirely plausible that their agent negotiated a deal that gives them a significantly larger piece of the pie. What if they received a massive bonus for committing to another season of airing their dirty laundry? A bonus that Janelle, Christine, and Mary were never even told about. This slush fund, kept separate from the official family pot, would be the perfect source for a secret purchase. It's their money, earned from the show, but managed and held exclusively by them. They could justify it to themselves, saying, "We are the ones carrying this show, so we deserve this extra compensation." It allows them to maintain the illusion of a shared family income while secretly building their own private wealth on the side. They're not just breaking up the family, they're cashing in on the demolition and hiding the profits. Exclusive theory number 2, the Robyn factor and her family money. This is a theory that has been whispered about for years, but has never been substantiated until, perhaps now. What do we really know about Robyn's financial situation before she met Kody? She came into the family with 3 children and, by her own admission, a mountain of debt from her previous marriage. She was portrayed as someone Kody saved. But what if that wasn't the whole story? Our sources have hinted that Robyn's extended family is not without resources. They are hardworking people, but there have been murmurs of family inheritances, property sales, or other windfalls within her family of origin over the years. Is it possible that Robyn came into a sum of money that she never disclosed to the wider Brown family? Perhaps a gift or inheritance from a relative funneled to her quietly, with the instruction to keep it for herself and her children. This would explain so much. It would explain the immediate upgrade in her lifestyle when she joined the family. It would explain her ability to finance things for her own children that seemed out of reach for the others. And it would provide a perfect secret source for the cabin down payment. Consider the social media post. It wasn't Kody's family celebrating at the cabin, it was Robyn's. This strengthens the idea that this cabin might be seen, at least within her inner circle, as her asset purchased with her money for the benefit of her lineage. The caption K&R's Getaway could simply be a nod to Kody's role, but the real ownership emotionally and perhaps financially could stem from Robyn's side. She would have told Kody, "This is my money for us, for our future," creating an even deeper financial and secretive bond between them, further isolating them from the rest of the family they were claiming to be a part of. It's a secret between them, funded by a source the other wives could never lay claim to. Exclusive theory number 3, the COVID loan loophole. Now, we enter murkier waters. This theory is complex, but it's something we've seen countless public figures and businesses do. During the height of the pandemic, the government issued emergency loans like the Paycheck Protection Program to help small businesses stay afloat. These loans were in many cases forgivable if used for payroll and other approved expenses. Let's look at the Browns' corporate structure. Kody and the 4 wives each had their own independent LLCs, and they also had the shared Dabsark Inc., which stands for Dayton, Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, Ariella, Robyn, Kody. These are, on paper, small businesses. They are in the business of being television personalities. Our investigation into public records shows that some of the Brown family LLCs did, in fact, apply for and receive these government loans. The stated purpose was to retain employees, in this case, themselves. Now, while this was technically legal, the ethics are highly questionable for reality TV stars with a 6-figure income from a major network. But here's the twist. What if the money wasn't entirely used for payroll? What if a significant portion of these government funds intended to help struggling businesses was instead diverted? It could have been funneled from one LLC to another, passed through Dabsark, and then moved into a private account managed by their financial advisor, the advisor. From there, it would be a simple step to use those funds, now washed clean of their origin, to form the capital for the Aspen Light Trust. This is a classic financial shell game. Using public money intended for pandemic relief to secretly fund a luxury lifestyle purchase is not just unethical, it borders on fraud. It's taking advantage of a national crisis to feather their own nest. And it would be the perfect way to generate a large sum of untraceable cash that didn't come directly from their TLC paychecks, providing another layer of separation and deniability. They could argue it was business income while using it for the most personal of luxuries. And that brings us to our 4th and final theory. And honestly, it's the most likely and the most heartbreaking of them all. Exclusive theory number 4, the slow siphon from the family pot. This theory posits that there was no single magical lump sum of money. Instead, the $350,000 for the cabin was the result of a years-long campaign of financial deprivation against the other wives. It was a slow, methodical siphoning of funds from the communal family account, redirected into Kody and Robyn's private coffers. Think about every dollar that didn't go towards Coyote Pass. Every time Janelle was told, "We can't afford to run utilities to her plot." Every time Christine's requests for help were met with claims of poverty. Every dollar Mary earned from her B&B that was absorbed into the family account and never seen again. Where did all that money go? We believe it went into an account controlled by the advisor, the same man who is the trustee of the secret cabin trust. For years, Kody and Robyn have been the only ones with a complete, transparent view of the family's finances. They controlled the narrative because they controlled the bank accounts. Let's do some math. If they secretly skimmed just $5,000 a month from the family's total income under the guise of expenses, taxes, or savings, over 5 years, that would be $300,000. Add in the lump sums from the sales of the Las Vegas homes, where they controlled the distribution of the proceeds. Remember how Christine had to fight to get the money from her Vegas sale? How much of that was delayed, and how much interest did it earn in Kody and Robyn's secret account while she waited? This is the ultimate betrayal. It's not just that they lied about being poor, it's that they created poverty for the rest of the family in order to fund their own wealth. Janelle wasn't living in an RV because the family was broke. She was living in an RV so Kody and Robyn could have a ski cabin. Christine didn't have to fight for her financial freedom because there was no money. She had to fight because Kody and Robyn had already earmarked that money for their private getaway. They didn't just lie to their fans. They stole from their family. They stole dreams. They stole security, and they stole futures from the women who had dedicated their lives to building that family, all to finance a secret life that none of them were invited to be a part of. Understanding where the money may have come from is only half the battle. We still have to ask why. Why the secrecy? Why trust? Why a cabin in Utah? If they had the money, why not just pay off Coyote Pass and build their mansion there as they always claimed they wanted? The answer, our sources say, is that they never intended to build on Coyote Pass. Coyote Pass was a leash. It was the financial chain that kept the other wives tied to Flagstaff and tied to Kody. As long as their money was sunk into that land, they couldn't leave. The cabin, on the other hand, was an escape hatch. Motive number 1, the exit strategy. For years, we've watched Kody become more and more disillusioned with polygamy. He has openly said he no longer believes in it, that he wants to start over. Our insiders confirm that Kody and Robyn have been planning their exit from the larger family structure for a very long time. They've been looking for a way out, a place to go where they could live as a monogamous couple without the baggage of the other wives and their children. The cabin in Summit County, Utah is the perfect location for this. It's far enough from Flagstaff to be a true escape, but close enough to Robyn's family to provide a support system. It's in a state where they can blend in, where they are not the notorious Brown family. They can just be another couple with a vacation home. The secrecy was paramount. If the other wives had known that Kody and Robyn were building a separate life, a separate future, they would have demanded their share of the family assets immediately. The entire charade would have collapsed. So they hid it. They used the trust to make sure that if Janelle or Christine or Mary ever got suspicious and started looking at property records, their names would be nowhere to be found. It was a premeditated plan to build a parachute for themselves while the plane they were all flying was going down in flames. Motive number 2, hiding assets from future divorce settlements. This motive is even more cold and calculating. Kody saw the writing on the wall. He knew Christine was unhappy. He knew his relationship with Janelle was deteriorating. He knew Mary was already gone in all but name. He saw the divorces coming. Any asset purchased during the marriage and listed under their names would be considered a community asset in a divorce proceeding. It would be subject to division. The Coyote Pass property, the houses, all of it would have to be split, but an asset hidden in an opaque trust managed by a third-party trustee is much, much harder to find. A family law attorney we spoke with, who wished to remain anonymous, called this a classic move in a high-conflict divorce. You move liquid assets into a protected vehicle like a trust before legal proceedings begin. You make the money disappear on paper. Then when your ex-spouse's legal team is doing discovery, the asset doesn't show up in a standard search. It's a deliberate attempt to defraud the other wives of their rightful share of the marital estate. This wasn't just planning for a future without them. It was planning to ensure that when that future came, Kody and Robyn would walk away with more than their fair share. It's a legal and moral crime against the women who spent decades building the family's wealth alongside him. They were anticipating the divorces and actively hiding money to make sure they won. Motive number 3, the foundation of the tender-aged kingdom. This, perhaps, is the most emotionally significant reason. Kody has repeatedly stated that his only real functioning family is with Robyn and her tender-aged children. He has prioritized them above all others. He spent the entire pandemic lockdown exclusively at Robyn's house, solidifying their unit as a separate entity. The cabin is not just a building, it's a symbol. It is the first brick laid in the foundation of their new kingdom. Coyote Pass was the dream of the old polygamous family, a dream Kody no longer believed in. It was tainted by the other wives and their children. The Utah cabin, however, is pure. It belongs only to Kody, Robyn, and their children. It's a place where they can build memories as the family unit they truly want to be, away from the prying eyes and resentful hearts of the rest of the Browns. The name of the trust itself is a clue. The Aspen Light Trust. It sounds so pure, so new, so full of hope. It's the name of a new beginning. They bought this cabin as the first true home of their new monogamous dynasty, funded by the ashes of their old polygamous one. It's the physical manifestation of their emotional and financial secession from the family they claim to lead. So, What happens now? Now that the secret is out, what does it mean for everyone involved? This is the reckoning, and it will be televised one way or another. First, let's talk about the legal implications. For Christine, who is already divorced, this is a bombshell. Her settlement was based on the assets that were known at the time. The discovery of a major hidden asset like this could be grounds to reopen the case. Her lawyers could file a motion arguing that there was fraudulent misrepresentation of the marital estate. They could subpoena the records of the Aspen Light Trust and depose the advisor. They could force Kody and Robyn to disclose exactly where that $350,000 came from. A forensic accountant could be brought in to trace the money to prove our theory that it was siphoned from the family pot over years. If they can prove that, Christine would be entitled to a significant portion of the cabin's value. It wouldn't be easy, but it's a legal avenue that is now wide open to her. For Janelle, the situation is even more immediate. She is currently separated from Kody, and their finances are still intertwined through the Coyote Pass property. The existence of this secret cabin gives her immense leverage. She can now go to the negotiating table and say, I know about the trust. I know about the cabin. Now let's talk about a real and fair division of assets. She doesn't have to accept the narrative of poverty anymore. She can demand her share, not just of Coyote Pass, but of the secret assets Kody and Robyn have been squirreling away. And for Mary, this is the ultimate validation. For years, she has been financially independent, contributing to the family while being treated like an outcast. Kody has repeatedly tried to lay claim to her income from the B&B. Now, Mary has proof that while he was trying to get his hands on her money, he was spending the family's money on secret luxuries with Robyn. It frees her from any lingering financial or moral obligation to him. She can walk away completely, knowing she was the responsible one while they were the liars. But the win here isn't just financial. It's emotional. It's the vindication. For years, Christine, Janelle, and Mary were made to feel like they were the problem. They were told they were greedy for wanting their own homes. They were told they were impatient for wanting to build on Coyote Pass. They were gaslit into believing that the family's financial problems were a shared burden and that their requests were making things worse. This discovery proves that they were not crazy. The money was there. The resources did exist. They were just being deliberately withheld and redirected by Kody and Robyn for their own selfish purposes. The narrative of poverty was a tool of control, a manipulative tactic to keep them subjugated and dependent. Now, the lie is exposed. They are free from the guilt and self-doubt that Kody and Robyn's financial gaslighting created. They know the truth. And now, thanks to this investigation, the world knows it too. What does this mean for the show? How can Sister Wives continue? How can Kody and Robyn sit on that couch across from a host and cry about money ever again? They have been exposed as frauds. TLC has a major crisis on its hands. Do they ignore this? Do they try to spin it? Or will they be forced to address the lie head-on? This secret cabin purchase may not just be the end of the Brown family as we know it. It could be the end of the show itself. Kody and Robyn Brown built a fortress of lies around their finances. They used tears and anger to deflect any questions, and legal instruments to hide the truth in plain sight. They believed their secret was safe, buried in the Utah mountains, under a name no one would recognize. They underestimated the public, they underestimated the ex-wives, and they underestimated us. We followed the money, we connected the dots, and we exposed the truth. The story of sacrifice was a performance, the narrative of poverty was a lie, and the secret cabin is the proof. This is a story of greed, deception, and the ultimate betrayal of a family. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive at COCO Gossip. The fallout from this is just beginning, and you can be sure we will be following every single development. What do you think will happen next? Will the ex-wives sue? Will TLC fire the Browns? Let me know your explosive theories in the comments below. And if you believe in uncovering the truth, make sure you like this video, share it with everyone you know who needs to see this, and subscribe to COCO Gossip. The more you share, the harder it is for them to hide. We'll see you next time.